Well, hello everybody. Motherfucker. Okay, so this is my first tutorial, whatever. Yada yada. This is the sound I'm gonna recreate. This example is from Dillon Francis' remix of Finale by Madian. And here's another one in Kill the Noise's song Dying. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, this sound is really basic, by the way, but there's a ton of uses and there's a ton of directions and things you can do with it. I'm using my little controller right now because I don't want to set up my interface with my big one. So let's start off by opening a new sound, just because it turns off a lot of stuff, at least if you have the one of the newer versions of Massive, because we're not going to use any of this stuff. Alright, well, if you didn't create a new patch and you just opened it, the wavetable would start at the top here. And you just want to turn it all the way to the right to make sure that it's a saw. Alright, then one thing I like to do is you can put it up to 4 or 2 or 6, even number works best. And then that gives it just a fuller sound. Turn on the pan position so that you can spread it out. It makes it more stereo. And you can put on the pitch corrector or pitch cutoff to make the variation a little bit. It gives it like a fuller sound. That's one option. Oh, I forgot about the gain envelope. So envelope 4 is the universal gain envelope in Massive. So normally it's set to be something like that. So you want to crank that level up, at least for these purposes. Turn down the release all the way. Turn the attack all the way down. That way there's no tail or like buildup. And that's pretty much it. Like, just make sure that saw or positions all the way on saw. Then, like, at least for these two examples, you can turn on. Who the fuck quit texting me? Sorry about that. Pause. I'll get to the secret, but yeah, you want to turn on one of these tubes here. It really doesn't matter. It's up to preference. I'm just going with classic. They get in there. You might want to turn down this a little bit just so. Don't want it to peak, cause any other distortion. You could throw a parabolic shaper. Let me make sure it's routed right. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't know if I like that on or not. Yeah, I like it off, but you could play around with that, get something you like. But then the real secret for that full, like, really dynamic range sound is that you actually, I'll just record something real quick. The key is to, when you're making the chords for it, is to make them very full. Like, see how many notes I put in that chord? It's just really 2 octaves in a row. What was I playing? C minor? Yeah, I like C minor. But yeah, so the more notes in the chord, the better. Okay, so before I get to this part that I just threw together real quick, I forgot to mention another effect a lot of people use, and I'm going to have to change this now. Oh, never mind. Dimension expanders always sounds pretty good. I don't like having too much of it on, unless like that's the effect you're going for, but it adds a little fullness. God, quit texting me. And so most plugins or DAWs like Ableton or Logic will have some sort of plugin called a saturator. I'd throw one of those puppies on there. I'm going to change this one to a soft sign. Needs a limiter too, just so I can crank that ceiling down because it's peaking. You hear it? Then there's always post effects you can do, but that's pretty much the main sound. Like the Kill the Noise one used a reverb, so throw on whatever reverb you got. I guess I'll just use Ableton's built-in. Okay, but then this next part is a little bit important. So duplicate the track with massive in it. This is what gives it that like punch and that same I don't know, the bass levels. So now, gosh, let me zoom out of this. I guess I used inverted chords, but in some of the cases, but select all of the notes everywhere except for the very last note of each chord. So yeah, I like using at least 5 or 6 notes per chord to give it that like dynamic range. Delete all of them. Now go and open up massive in that patch, or in that channel. You don't really have to do much now, but then turn the wavetable position to the opposite and select sine square. Turn off the effects, turn on the EQ, take the high shelf all the way down, drop it an octave, that 12 semitones. Oh shoot, I screwed that up. This first note, since it wasn't quantized, there we go. Might even want to drop it an extra octave just so it gets those subtones. Yeah, the notes aren't going to match on the sub as well. Also throw on either an EQ or the auto filter, doesn't matter, or something that will just cut all the high tones and take all the high tones off. Like, just because of the chords I picked, it actually would have been better to pick the notes, because I used inverted chords here. If you know theory at all. That matches a little bit better. Pretty much it. Yeah, then you can always, there's a lot of stuff you can do. yeah, so there's a lot of directions you can take it from there. Might also want to throw a compressor on drop the level down a little bit, just because of the way that since subtones like to move around if you compress them. If you compress them, it'll keep them more even, and it'll make the note fit better in the chord as a whole. Yep, that's it. If you have any requests, like I know how to make some of the sounds in this Kill the Noise song, Dying. But yeah, I can make like a lot of these noises, so if you want me to make one in particular, just holler at me. Yep.